Hello, this is Gizmo88, and welcome to part 2 of the GameCube collection and the 4K Remastered. So I'm going to go ahead and start where I left off. So the next game is Driven. This is your basically typical Formula 1 racer. Now there's not a lot of these type games out there, especially back in this era of gaming. And this game does it very well. Graphically speaking, the game is really good, and like I said, I would highly recommend it as a Formula 1 racer just because there's not so many of them out there. There's a lot of cars to choose from, and it's actually was actually inspired by the, and I'll show you here on the title, the Sylvester Stallion's hit movie Driven. So anyway, you race on 8 stunning tracks, including the California Angels Bay and Paris Champs IC. So, like I said, it's a highly recommended title. It's got a great soundtrack. It's got really good graphics, and like I said, it's definitely a game to demonstrate the GameCube. The next game. This is also another arcade port as well as a Dreamcast port. 18-wheeler American Pro Trucker. If you're into big trucks and you're into racing, then look no further. 18-wheeler American Pro Trucker does exactly that. You're racing against a rival truck driver, as well as racing against the clock to get your deliveries delivered on time. And there are roughly, I want to say, well, I don't know exactly how many deliveries there are, but there's also like some mini games in here as well, like mini deliveries and races that you can do. Like I said, it's a really fun game if you're into trucks, and I highly recommend it for truck driver enthusiasts. The next game, Hot Wheels Velocity X. Back in the day, there wasn't a lot of Hot Wheels games like this. This was really probably the first of its type of game. So basically, this game has all your stunts, your weapons, and races that you incorporate into a Hot Wheels game. So everything that you imagine on like those tracks you see at the stores and stuff, that's the kind of thing you get to do in this game. There is a little bit of a story behind it. There's voice acting. Graphically speaking, the game looks great. It offers some compatibility with the Game Boy. If I can, there we go. Game Boy Advance compatible. There's a Hot Wheels game for the Game Boy Advance, and if I remember correctly, I believe it connects up with that. So it's another great racer for the GameCube. Highly recommended, especially for kids. So the next game is Jeremy McGrath's Supercross World. This is a motorcycle racer. It's your off-road motorcycle racer. Graphically speaking, the game is fairly decent. Graphics are kind of soft, I think. They're not as sharp and crisp as they could be. But I feel that the game really comes short in terms of customizations. While you can choose the color of your motorcycle, and you get a few choices in terms of the type of motorcycle you want to race with, and you can also choose between some characters, but you don't really get a lot of choice. In terms of off-road motorcycle racing games, I would have to recommend this one just because there's not a lot of them on the GameCube. But in terms of its customizations, I wouldn't be able to recommend it. Okay, here's a game that we all like, Luigis Mansion. This game was highly praised on the GameCube as it's a GameCube exclusive from Nintendo, of course. If you've never played Luigi's Mansion, basically the game starts out as Luigi wins a mansion, Mario goes and gets stuck in a painting, basically, and you've got to rescue Mario. So you play as Luigi. Your goal is to capture these ghosts in the game. And with your Polar Gust 3000, and with the help of Professor Ecod, I believe it's pronounced, this is a really fun game, and it does take a little bit of strategy. But This is probably one of my most recommended games on the GameCube. If you don't have this game, make sure you pick it up. No GameCube collection is complete without this game. So very, very highly recommended. The next game, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. This game pretty much says it all when it comes to Zelda. This game was the game that got me into the franchise. The graphics of this game were just amazing back in the day, and they're still amazing today. The game has hardly aged at all. It just looks amazing. In this game, so you start out as a 12-year-old boy, which obviously is Link, and you start out on an island called Outset Island. And basically Ganondorf is at it again. Anyway, your sister is kidnapped, so you go to rescue her. You find out you can't, so then you get on a ship with a girl named Terra, or Tetra. I think her name's pronounced Tetra. Tetra or Terra. If you know the correct pronunciation, please correct me in the comments. And basically, in this game, you explored several different islands. There's, I believe, I want to say close to 40 different islands, 40, maybe even 50 different islands that you can explore. There's a lot. And over that exploration, you've got to find the Triforce pieces. You got to restore the Master Sword. Once you get the Master Sword, you've got to restore its powers. And so and that's just touching some of the bases of this game. If I was to recommend any game in the Zelda series, this would be that game. By far, this is my favorite game in the series. Like I said, this is the game that got me into the series. It is a great game. It is definitely my most recommended title. And like I said about Luigi's Mansion, your collection is not complete unless you have this game in your collection. If you don't have it, it is uncommon to find. It usually goes for about $40 roughly. If you don't have it, make sure you pick it up. I know there's copies on eBay. Sometimes you can find them in stores. So definitely be on the lookout for this game. Mario Kart Double Dash. This game is kind of a forgotten Mario Kart title. It kind of got overshadowed by Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart DS. But all around, this game is a lot of fun. Something that is unique about this game is you actually have two players on a kart. So when you're playing two players in this game, you actually have two people do a kart, and so 4 people can actually play at a time on this game simultaneously. Another thing, you'll see broadband connectivity. Now you're thinking, well, this game connects online. Not exactly. This game actually incorporates a broadband adapter. So if you have 2 GameCubes, you connect them together, so you can have up to like 8 people playing at a time, and it's just awesome. You have several characters to choose from. It was really the first Mario Kart game that allowed you to choose characters like Daisy and Diddy Kong, and this one actually has Dodo as well. And so all around, also you've got Baby Mario and Luigi. It was also the first Mario Kart to incorporate them. If I can kind of clear it up there. Alrighty, kind of focus. Definitely a recommended title. Like I said, it's kind of a hidden title. And so, like I said, very highly recommended. Obviously, any Mario Kart title would be recommended. So, like I said, if you don't have this title, definitely be on the lookout for it to add it to your collection, because it's great. Mega Man X Collection. This game incorporates the first 6 Mega Man X games, and there were some new features in these games as well that wasn't included in the PlayStation version. In Mega Man X6, it actually had a Japanese soundtrack. In the PlayStation version, while this game features an English soundtrack. So, which was really cool. Also, this game has the Mega Man Battle and Chase Racing game, which was never before released in the US. And the game's a lot of fun, even though you do have to unlock it. So there's actually 7 total games on here. And definitely recommended. The only downside of this game is if you use component cables, this game won't actually play. So it has to be played with either S-Video or composite or RF, which I would never recommend RF. But we'll save that for another video. Anyway, so this game is highly recommended. So this concludes part 2 of the GameCube collection. Stay tuned for part 3.